Hello and welcome back to Turntable 20s, where I'm joined by our guest Pamela Bassah, who is in charge of strategic partnerships and diaspora relations at the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office. She's based at the UK High Commission in Ghana, but today she joins us from sunny London. Pamela, hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. It's sunny, but it also is warm. So it's not
Warm
December.
and sunny.
It's a
It's the,
dream. I'm enjoying
the
it.
perfect combination.
Perfect combination. I'm very happy.
I'm in Brooklyn right now, where it is warm and grey, which is the worst combination.
Yeah.
It's pretty muggy. It's
Yeah.
pretty horrible. Why don't you start by introducing yourself a little bit? Just do top down, like who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, so Pamela Bassah, Head of Strategic Partnerships and Diaspora Relations. And in a nutshell, that is how I'm just the strengthening people to people links between UK and Ghana person. That is the easiest way to describe what I do. People to people links and then people to people brands. I'm sorry, and then brands as well with each other. I was on a career break for about a year, returned to the UK. This job came back and I moved back to Ghana for it.
And you're a career civil servant, is that right?
I
You've
am. That
you
sounds
spent
so
your
weird.
entire.
No
How
one
did
says
you end up in? How did you end up in diaspora relations in Ghana?
that
What
is
was your
a
past like?
good question. I was working in comms and like networks and partnerships in the civil service for 4 years and a
Mm.
little bit of caseworking before then. And then during my career break, this job was basically the perfect blend of everything I've ever done. So it was partnerships, it was comms, it was Ghana, and I'm British-Ghanaian. I've also volunteered in Ghana as well, so I had some experience there. And then just good with people to people relations as well. So I said, why not? And I moved and I'm here.
Perfect, absolutely spot on. And it's conference season in the kind of UK Ghana matrix right now, isn't it? There's tech in Ghana and there's tech in London, and there's London in Ghana and there's tech in tech. And
There's
what's
also
going on? What are you up to? Oh,
There's
go
also London Climate Week, so I'm around for that as well. So there's a lot happening in both of those spaces. I've been trying to go to London Tech Week for the past 3 years, and this is the first year that I've managed to make it. I've been
on.
to Tech in Ghana and London twice, but I've never managed to make London Tech Week. I think before Tech in Ghana never used to happen within London Tech Week. It would be like Tech in Ghana and then
Mm.
London Tech Week would be the following week. But this was the first year that I was able to do London Tech Week, which was good. It's huge. Oh my gosh! Like this is my
Yeah,
first time.
it got big, right?
It is huge. I love it though. I went to a masterclass on public speaking, and then there
Right.
was a kind of networking session for Black women in tech, which was great as well. And I went to an internationalization kind of expanding your business beyond the UK, which is useful for my work because most of the diasporas
Right.
that I work with, they are entrepreneurs. If they're engaging with Ghana, 90% of the time it's entrepreneurs. It's very rare that you'll get someone that has applied for a job in Ghana.
Yeah, yeah. So how do you go about building those bridges if there's entrepreneurs in Ghana that want to sell product in the UK or vice versa? What's the mechanics for doing that?
Yeah, it'd probably be useful for me to kind of explain where I sit and then where other teams sit. So I'm the people person. I am the go-to for anything between that, and I do things like networking events. We have virtual deep dives. So once a month, we spotlight somebody within the UK Ghana space that's just doing brilliant things in Ghana, and we have a massive networking event at the beginning of the year, which might cause like party party of the year, but we have that to bring all our stakeholders together. So we are the super connectors slash the bridge, but there are other teams across the mission that do different things. So yeah, probably the most helpful way is if I explain what our mandate is in three pillars, and then it will talk about those teams. So we
Let's
cover
do it.
one is how we amplify the work of the diaspora to attract partnerships and investment. So we
That's the UK diaspora
yes,
abroad, right? Yeah,
so
yeah.
how we do that, and that's because there's money, there's opportunities outside of just us, and but we know the convening power that we have as the British High Commission and as the UK government. So if there are people doing great things, why not partner with them? Why not maybe host an event with them, do some comms with them, etc. So the first one is amplify, And then the second is how we support diaspora engagement with Ghana. And we do that through strengthening ecosystems. So tech, for example, what we would want to do is support someone like Akosia Annabelle, who runs tech in Ghana and then happens to be a British-Ghanaian. If we're able to support her, we're able to support a key player within the tech industry that people can then know she's a go-to source for. But also because tech seems to come up always in top 3 when people talk about opportunities they find in Ghana, it's really important that we bridge the gap between that. And then the last pillar is collaborate. So finding opportunities. If the British High Commission has objectives in Ghana, I want to be able to say, do you know Kwaku? He is a Brit Ghanaian. He has this business in the UK, this business in Ghana. Why not collaborate with him? What we then do is connect different people across the office. So to your question about entrepreneurs, there is the Department for Business and Trade. And the Department of Business and Trade, they can support with things like market access. They can support with, what else do they do? Like just driving investment between the UK and Ghana, driving trade. We have a trade envoy now called Belle with Libero Adi. I've probably said her name wrong and she's probably going to tell me off. I've said her. So
She's a Labour MP, right? I saw she's hosting a couple of
for the
events.
Brits to
Yeah,
make happen.
yeah.
So she's now the trade envoy too. And she actually just did an event, I think yesterday, or was it 2 days ago, at Houses of Parliament in collaboration with Julian from Build, who is Cactus Talent, which you know about, but he's calling it the collaborative skills economy. So how do we make people work together more in the space and understand the talent that's in Ghana? So yeah, the Department for Business and Trade is really there to support trade and investment between both countries. The thing is, as always, resource is tight. And then where we can put our capacity is tight as well. But there is, which a lot of people don't know about, something called the Growth Gateway that is done by the Department for Business and Trade, and that's to support UK businesses going into Africa. So I'm trying to connect people with that as well.
That's fantastic. That's really, really cool. So I guess like one thing is like to tease apart the separation of like trading goods versus trading services. And for us, like we're a service business, and one of the key things for us has been the time zone, right? So like Ghana's due south of the UK, and there's 2 British Airways flights there a year. And when we speak to our clients, the thing that they're the most keen on, the reason they come and speak to us is because they might have tried offshoring technology services usually to the east, and have realized that the time zone just kills them, right? Because when you're working with developers in a technology team, it's quite important that they're there at the same time as you. One of the things that we heard in the kind of Ghanaian space is the move towards the automation, robotic space, and the business process automation space. What are you involved in that at all?
No, but we have a tech team who probably would be, because they signed a science, technology, and information. What did they sign last year? There was an agreement that they signed to be able to get a stronger partnership on science and tech between both countries. So our tech team should be more involved in that space. But it's good to see that Ghana is thinking about tech a lot more, and that they're prioritizing it a lot more as well. And to your point about time zones, very important. It feels like a no-brainer for us because we're in the space. But so the way I see Ghana and London, actually, I'll speak specifically about London, is the way that London is a global connector for everyone. Ghana does that same thing for Africa. And so when people talk about Ghana being the gateway to Africa, it really is. But it's also that soft landing for loads of companies too. And I know people that have moved from America to London just because the time difference, even just to travel, is 6 hours. So physically, it's a lot quicker. But also I think once that, not just the messaging about the time zone, but the time zone being a good starting point, and then understanding the talent as well, then there'll be more movement, I think, in that space and more progress.
I agree. I think that one of the things that's interesting for us as we engage in like sales and marketing is not just selling turntable and not just selling the kind of services that we provide, but it's also selling like Ghana and the idea of Ghana. I think that with the best will in the world, a lot of people in the UK, they think firstly of Africa, right? And then they maybe think about West Africa, and then the big name that comes up is Nigeria, right? And for lots of reasons, Nigeria is perhaps a little scary to people. Hearing the news, like technology people not being treated that well, and arrests and all that. No one really knows what Ghana is and what it looks like and what it sounds like. So, we've been bringing people on that fantastic British Airways flight that I know you love. You know, that like just after lunch flight. We've been bringing people to Ghana like a lot for years now, since like 2017. And nobody really knows what to expect until they get there. And we say, look, it's like Accra is a busy, bustling city. It's a capital city, just like hundreds of others around the world. There's a Marriott, there are buses, there's, and so like a lot of our job is just teaching people what Ghana specifically is.
Yeah, I had this conversation with someone the other day because they were talking about just how long there is to go in terms of people knowing that they can do business in Africa. And I said, what you have to bear in mind as well is that the narrative
Mm.
about Africa for a long time has been negative. So somebody we had, her name's Yar, she runs a business called Talking Drums, which is a tourism company. And when she said the percentage of travel that comes to Africa, it's less than 10% still. There's
Yeah.
still a long way to go. And even though for us, it feels like more people are traveling now, it's just the percentage is absolutely ridiculous. So I think one, there is, I guess, people learning more about the unknown, but two, there's also a stereotype that we always also have to navigate as well, and just understand that that's deeply rooted. And once people understand that Africa is exactly like you said, all of the things you said, and it's so diverse, it's not just one country. I
Yeah.
think more things will happen. But the companies and the people that have caught that on early are doing fantastic.
Certainly an opportunity. I think there's a lot of struggle. I mean, there are like little roadblocks in the way. Like, I brought my dad out to Ghana, like, and he took a holiday. Yeah, yeah. How old is he at the time? Like, he was just shy of 70 years old, and he came over with a friend, and I sent
Was
them
it
up
his
north. And
first
they
African country?
Was it his first African country? He might have been to like Morocco,
Mm.
maybe. But yeah, it was. But my dad is a very brave traveler. He's followed me to China and North America, and he's a very bold man.
Mm.
But I sent him up north in the country to go and like go on a mini safari. So he saw elephants and he had giraffes sharing his breakfast and had a wonderful time. It was great. But like the stuff in the way, it's not. It's I wouldn't say a tourist-friendly country. It's interesting what you say about like about Ghana like focusing on technology. It's almost been like a governance shift, right? Because I remember when we first started out with Turntable, the focus was the government's focus was very strongly on mechanizing agriculture, which is like a development shift that I think had to be made, right? And then there was like the banking infrastructure to get more people in the banking system. There have been these like huge strides forward. There was the Ghana ID system to make sure that everyone was able to like vote and access government services. And now there's been this shift towards kind of AI and setting aside space and money to like build out like an AI platform. And it's really interesting how like that shift has happened.
Mhm.
Have you folks been involved like aiding with government policy at that level, or like helping to influence?
Yeah, so that is what our tech team does. So they will get involved. How the High Commission works, and this is actually probably a good way to differentiate what we do as a team, is when
Yeah.
others look at partnerships, they're looking at it from a policy perspective. So how can they bring UK expertise and support in shaping particular policies in, I thought I put this on busy, sorry, support in shaping particular policies in government. So they hold a lot of the key relationships with the government stakeholders. What we are interested in is more, I say, brand to brand or marketing partnerships. So
Mm.
we might say there might be a tech brand in the UK and one in Ghana, and we're looking at maybe something like Climate Week, and how do we make those two partner together to do something really good and to amplify the brand awareness amongst our target audience. Our work is slightly different, but yes, there's teams that work closely with government to help them actualize their goals.
Amazing. So how do you go about doing that? So let's focus on like brand to brand. So there's a UK brand based in Leicester that wants like they have a large like Africa diasporan staff, and they're really keen to sell their product in Ghana. What's the mechanics of that? How do they go about doing that?
They find me.
They speak to you. They speak to Pamela.
I'm the go-to person. Even if they went to an official mailing list, it'll still probably be me or someone from my team. But that's
Right.
the funny thing is that's actually why I joined LinkedIn. I was not on LinkedIn before this job.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was not on it
For
before.
this job?
Yeah, I no LinkedIn presence before. I thought it threw me off a bit. I was like, why does anybody need to Google me and see my history, my work history?
Your LinkedIn's pretty quiet. Your
Yeah,
LinkedIn's pretty quiet. I'll say, as someone that tried to do background on the Pamela Bassah, like it's pretty
my
sparse pickings there.
my team tried to Google me before I officially started because they only got the name and they found absolutely nothing on the internet about me. And I was like so proud of it. That's changed now. If you Google my name, some things will come up.
Well, I mean, look, but what are they going to think, right? Like career civil servant, like moving towards the Foreign Office, they're going to think you're a spy.
People still think I was fast.
Yeah. How many passports have you got? Right, for
This
sure.
one. Yeah, so no, I joined because of that to kind of just raise awareness about what I'm doing, and I've connected with incredible people through
Yeah,
it as well. But that's the main thing. I think people knowing that our team exists. So we are excitingly, and this is kind of fresh news and breaking news because this is the first time I'm saying it. But we're launching a campaign. So at the beginning of the year, we did a soft launch for London to Accra campaign, and then we're going full blown next month. We'll be doing a hard launch for it, and it's supposed to be a communications campaign. So the full title is London to Accra, Connecting Capitals for Economic Growth, and that we're talking about the role of the diaspora in leveraging their people to people relations and their cultural relations for economic growth between both countries. So looking at businesses, for example, that so if you know remotely, what's his name again, Samuel Bucksworth. But
right.
he's headquartered both in London and in Accra, and it's that kind of collaboration of talent, skills, excellence between both countries
Mhm.
that we want to be able to highlight. So we want to do that, but we also want to be able to highlight what government is doing in that space and what support is available. And not just government, but private sector as well. There are institutions that have like international grants, for example, and particularly if you're a diaspora and you're British and you're Ghanaian and you want to do something in Ghana, you can take advantage of that. So we'd like, how do we create a space for all of that information to be in one place? So we want to do this
That's amazing.
ongoing comms campaign for about a year, and then do some nice big massive event in the end, which is soon to be revealed. But we're very excited.
We are very excited. Yeah. So what kind of practical help can someone, if someone is British Ghanaian and they're based in the UK and they want to, they want to grow their business and they want to get back to their roots in Ghana, what kind of practical support can they expect from your group?
So some of this, I think, one, connections.
Yeah.
Ghana's very who you know, and that's not going to change anytime soon.
WhatsApp groups.
Did you say WhatsApp groups?
Right. WhatsApp groups. Yeah. Yeah. Are you in them all? Okay.
I don't think my brain can handle that.
You don't have WhatsApp.
I do have WhatsApp. I'm just like, but no, Connections Ghana is very, very who you know, so we can connect with the right people. If we
Right.
don't know them, we know somebody who knows them, and then we can support with things like if you have to speak to a particular ministry, etc. The Diaspora Affairs Office under the President of Ghana, really useful. So they've now set up a 24-hour hotline that people can call, which is great. That people can call. They're also setting up a newsletter as well. So there are elements where we can look at and support from a UK perspective, and then we can connect to Ghana if we're looking at other areas. And then Ghana has some good structures. So they're what are they called? Ghana Investment Promotion Center, I believe it's called.
The IPC. Yeah.
They've got a head of diaspora desk, and I met her the other day. Actually, they've got a replacement now, and the fact that they've got a diaspora focus, the presidency has a diaspora focus as well, means that there's
Mm.
lots of areas that people can tap into on the Ghana side to be able to look at. And then also not underestimating the local players as well. So we had a roundtable about a week ago, which we had someone from Turntable join. So that was great. And that was to discuss again with the trade envoy about trade and investment between both countries. The trade envoy was very interested in services sector as well. So that's really good.
Yeah.
But the conversation that we had and where we were going with it, I deliberately brought somebody who he's the CEO of a car goods market. And so he understands the market access into Ghana as well. So I think
Mm.
not just looking at the official, this is the information on Growth Gateway website, but also how do we include people that are in the space on the ground and know what works, what doesn't work, where you should go as well. But looking at those local players too is really key. So yeah, in summary, there are websites through like Growth Gateway, there is communicating or connecting with us, there is connecting with Ghana side, and then also us curating spaces where people can have discussions and get a bit more helpful and specific insight to be able to grow their businesses.
Absolutely. And one, just to put a cap on that, one way that we've found our communication with the High Commission to be useful is the High Commission network itself. So, like, if we want access to other countries,
Mhm.
one really useful entry point for us has been to go and speak to you folks in at the High Commission in Ghana and say, can you introduce us to your colleagues in Nigeria or Kenya or Uganda? And that's been able, you folks have been able to get us into conversations right at the very top.
Mhm.
Whereas if we'd gone laterally, we might have,
Yes.
we might have not had that access.
Yeah. So yeah, we I think even someone had reached out for they wanted to start something in India and had asked us to
Mm.
connect. So super connectors, and it can't be underestimated. When we had the roundtable, two things came out of that I realized were really important. One is information. People are always
Mm.
seeking more information, and then two is connections. And so long as we can use our convening power to do both of those things, we're headed in the right direction.
Fantastic. Pamela Bassah from the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office. Thanks very much for your time today. Really appreciate it. I normally say at the end of this, can people reach you on LinkedIn? Is that now the best way to get hold of you?
Yes.
It is. All right. You must check your LinkedIn messages. Do get in touch with Pamela Bassah or look on the FCDO website.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks very much for joining us today. I've been Sam Morehouse, your host here at Turntable 20s, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks. Bye.